Hello, everybody. My name is Dallas, also known as Puzzlebox, and today I'm here to show you guys my branded Chimera deck list that I topped the Des Moines Regionals with last weekend. So I'm just going to walk you guys through it, assuming that you have fundamental knowledge of how the branded lines work and how the Chimera lines work in general, and just talk about some of the deck choices that I made and why. So, first up for the Chimera package, we're on 2 Big Wing Berfomet. You could kick this up to 3. Sometimes I was really hurting for a third, but most of the time you don't need it. And if you're going for a third, you might not have a search target for both parts of his effect anyways. You can resolve him with just one, but that's something to be aware of. 2 is fine. 3 Mirror Sword Knight and 3 Cornfield Codal. This is your simplest 1-card combo through the Chimera lines, so you just want to max out on these. And 3 Gazelle. This is a search target for your Berfomet, and also a combo starter if you open either basically any other part of your illusion engine, any part of your Chimera engine. Gazelle is a combo starter for you. Then, to round out the illusion package, we're actually on 1 Master Tau. This card is actually insane. It allows you to go for a really simple 1-card OTK with just Cornfield Codal going second, with the big Chimera in the extra deck. And he also allows you to extend through certain hand traps by being able to, for instance, if you open Mirror Sword Knight and Gazelle, and you normal Gazelle to search your Chimera fusion, and then you fuse those two into your Berfomet, you can just dump the Master Tau and special back the Mirror Sword Knight, and then use your Mirror Sword Knight, because you haven't used it yet, to go into your Berfomet lines. So it gives you a bit of extra resources. And also, I was testing out Emissary from the House of Wax. It released the day before the regional. I had tested it a bit online. The card text on this card is actually pretty insane. If you don't know what it does, basically, whenever your opponent attacks, you can special it from your hand. It has the illusion text, and at the end of their battle phase, you can activate this effect. Until the start of your opponent's next battle phase, all attack position monsters your opponent currently controls cannot change their battle positions, nor be used as materials for Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, or Link, and their effects are negated. So if your opponent tries to summon out, for instance, a Fire King board to go for an OTK, and not go into any of their extra deck stuff prior to the battle phase, then whenever they swing, you can just special this guy, and if they don't have a way to remove it, they can't punch over it, and then you get to negate the effects of all their attack position monsters and lock them out of being used as material for any extra deck shenanigans, which is really powerful. It's also a fire monster that you can special summon during the battle phase and then use as a super poly target. If, for example, they summon Ambla Whale and play it safe with something like Ambla Whale Appaloosa or something of that nature, where they don't have 2 fires on the board, you can just use Emissary as the fire for your super poly target. And then, of course, 3 Chimera Fusion. Some people are playing 2. I think that having 3 is really nice because it increases your chances of being able to normal summon Gazelle and just search Berfomet if you opened Gazelle plus Chimera Fusion and none of your illusion stuff. And also it helps you play around Imperm, Effect Veiler, things of that nature, where you can just chain Chimera Fusion, fuse off after you've summoned your Berfomet, and keep playing from there. And that covers it for the Chimera package of the deck. It's 16 cards in total here. Then we move on to the branded engine. Here we're playing 2 Fallen of Albaz. I don't think 3 is necessary, since Keshtir is not really in the format too much right now. Could be coming up, which could make this more annoying, but 2 felt pretty okay. I only had one matchup where I went through both and ended up not shuffling them back with Flubelion and such. We're on 1 Alibur. I'm only on 1 because while this card is really strong for branded, this is much more of a Chimera deck, and you really need your normal summon for Mirror Sword Knight. So you never want to normal summon Alibur. So we've got the 2 branded opening, which is far better to draw. We've got 1 Kit and 1 Quim. Both of these are extenders alongside of branded in white for a very specific line that I am playing, and they can also help you extend in the grind games. This is very optional. You definitely don't have to play this 3-card package. I sided out going second a lot because it's just not amazing playing into a board, but it can help you extend your turn 1 board a lot if you get to resolve a branded fusion and they just don't open hand traps, which, to be fair, is relatively rare in the current format, but we've got some countermeasures to that. And of course, 3 branded fusion and the 2 branded opening. And that covers it for the 11-card branded package. Then we're on to non-engine. We have 2 Pot of Prosperity and 1 Triple Tactics for consistency or playing through interruptions. And also for playing through interruptions, we've got 1 Called by the Grave and 2 Crossout Designator. Called by is really nice against Fire King and Labyrinth as well, and hand traps in general, so definitely play Called by the Grave, I think, right now. Crossout, it's give or take, but obviously you're still playing Branded Fusion, so Crossout for Ash is really strong. And then for hand traps, we've got 2 Nibiru, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, and 2 Infinite Impermanence. And then we've also got 2 Super Polys as board breakers. Super Poly feels pretty strong this format, playing into things like Voiceless Voice and Fire King, and Floanderies sometimes. It really depends on their board. But Droll felt pretty strong overall. I played against Snake Eye 4 out of my 8 games, and I didn't lose to Snake Eye ever. Droll plus Ash felt really solid into that matchup. You just Droll on their first search, and then you can still Ash the original, or something of that nature. And Nibiru, it's good when you draw it, typically. And at bare minimum, it is a level 10 that you could use for, like, Titanic Lad, or Albion if you're in a pinch. For the extra deck, we've got 2 Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. I actually never summoned the second copy of this. Usually once you're in the grind game, you've got some sort of board that's still remaining established, and if you have to, you can cycle back the first one that you summon whenever you banish it for its effect by using Baphomet. So you could potentially cut this down to 1. I'm on 1 Baphomet. Once again, he just helps extend your plays, and we've also got some going first cheese in the sideboard that he helps search. We've got the Chimera, the Illusion Beast for OTKs going second, 2 Guardian Chimera. I only summoned the second one once or twice, but once again, very good for grind games, and also, notably, if you are playing against Keshtir or Unicorn, having 2 of each is really important. We got 1 Mirror Jade. You don't really summon Mirror Jade that often, so 1 is perfectly fine here. 2 Albion. Once again, you could cut it down to 1, but I like having 1 to send off of Mirror Jade and 1 to just summon. on my second turn or something of that nature. We've got a Lubellion for the main lines. Shuffling back is really nice. Notably, Albion and Lubellion you can use to summon the Chimera stuff as well if you're in the grind game and you already have materials on field, hand, or grave. Renprom is really important for using Branded Fusion to access your Chimera package of your deck by using Gazelle to search an illusion monster. Titanic Lad is here because of the Quem line that I am playing. I can show you guys that at the end. He's here for that. You can also use him to beat over things if you absolutely have to. Some sort of tower, monster, rogue matchups, things of that nature. And then the Super Polys. There's Dragostabelia, Garura, and Mudragon. Mudragon is especially really nice right now. On your turn, you can summon him, and then you can name either Dark to protect your own stuff, like your Mirror Jade, your Guardian Chimera, Berfomet from Imperm, or you can name Fire, so that things like the Promethean Princess Engrave won't be able to target a fire monster, which is really solid. And for the side deck, we're on 2 going first cards. Barrier Statue of the Abyss. I was playing King Tiger Wengu for a while, but I feel like this is stronger into Snake Eyes because you force them to either open their Diabell Star, which they can summon under Barrier Statue, which sucks, but that could also just beat over Wengu, so both of those lose to Diabell Star. Whereas Barrier Statue basically just wins the game if they don't have an out or they can't normal summon beat over it. Whereas Wengu, sometimes you can still get screwed over by like normal summon Ponix. They still get the effect to search, but you still destroy it, which, you know, can trigger things and get messy. So I prefer the Barrier Statue. And then there's one, there can only be one. Not great against Fire King, but really solid into some of the other matchups like Labyrinth and Snake Eyes. Then for going second, we've got our third Nibiru, a Ghost Bell, and an Effect Veiler. All 3 of these are good cards that you can play in certain matchups, and the Ghost Bell and Veiler are also potential cross-out targets if you need to side those in. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. I sided this in only once, I think. It felt kind of bad, actually, in general. I think you could cut it, potentially, from the sideboard. 3 Cosmics felt amazing. They were useful in every Fire King Snake Eye matchup. They were also useful against Labyrinth. Not bad against Floanderiz, which I played against twice. So Cosmic is really strong right now. I put in 3 enemy controllers because I had 3 slots that I was like not really sure what to do with. So this was like cards 13 through 15 in the sideboard. They were really good in certain situations, and sometimes they just weren't great. One notable thing about enemy controller in this deck specifically is that for your OTK line going second, they have to have an attack position monster. So as long as they have a monster on field, even if they put it in defense position, you can just use enemy controller to switch it to attack and then kill them through that, which is pretty neat. And obviously you can use it for dodging imperms and veilers and just taking control of things like Appaloosa and Ambla Whale, things of that nature, can be really nice to help break the board for Snake Eye Fire King. We got the 3rd Super Poly here for matchups where you need it, and 2 evenly matched. This card felt amazing against Snake Eye Fire King once again. Strong against Labyrinth in most situations. Just a pretty solid card going second overall. But yeah, that covers the deck list itself. If If you guys have any questions about things, you can leave them in the comments below. And I'll go ahead and show you guys an example of what a combo line looks like that uses Quim and Kit. So from here we can see that this combo only takes the branded fusion, and if your opponent doesn't open a hand trap, or for instance if you did manage to open protection, you're going to be able to get a much stronger inboard because of the Spriggan's Kit branded in white and Quim. So we're going to activate our branded fusion here, use Gazelle to summon Rinbrum, and this will search us any illusion monster. If you want to play safer around Droll, you can just add the Mirror Sword Knight, and then if they Droll, you can still do Mirror Sword Knight on their turn to get your searches. But we're going to search Codal here, because if they Droll us, we can't do the Kit stuff anyways. So we search the Codal to get the extra interruption on our end board here from the graveyard, and that'll search us our Mirror Sword Knight here. Special summon our Baphomet. Now, this is where we differ from the general Chimera stuff. Instead of adding Gazelle as our level 4 beast, we'll add Spriggan's Kit. And since we control Rinbrum, we can special summon Kit and use our effect to search Branded in white and put a card from our hand back. And then we can go ahead and Chimera Fusion to get access to our hand rip here. You can chain block however you want to play around different things. I'm going to play around Ghost Bell here. So we'll go Chain Link 1, Baphomet to special back the Sword Knight, Chain Link 2 Chimera. If you really wanted to, if you were like going second and chose to go for this line for some reason, you could negate your Chimera with Rinbrum and bounce anything. But we're not going to do that here. So we'll get our Sword Knight and our hand rip at the end phase. We can go ahead and add our Chimera Fusion back. And then we're going to go ahead and activate our Branded in white. And from this point, we are going to go ahead and summon ourselves a Lubellion by banishing from our graveyard our Fallen of Albaz. And you can banish either Kit or Baphomet, depending on what you'll think you'll want to have access to for different things, like our Chimera going to the graveyard next turn. So we'll summon Lubellion, discard another card from our hand, and then we'll just summon Mirror Jade by using the banished Fallen of Albaz and our Lubellion. Now from here, we're gonna try to play a bit safe around Mirror Jade, or not Mirror Jade, Nibiru, things of that nature. So we can just set our Chimera Fusion. And then we will go ahead and move to our end phase. During the end phase, we can activate Mirror Jade, sending Titaniclad. And then we are going to chain our Rinbrum here to negate our Mirror Jade. And we are not going to bounce anything. And basically, this means that we can still use Mirror Jade on our opponent's turn because he was negated, and it puts Titaniclad into our graveyard. So we're going to go ahead and activate our Titaniclad to special summon a Quim from our deck. Quim will go ahead and put a Fallen of Albaz into our graveyard, which turns on our Rinbrum if it goes to the graveyard, and is potentially a Quim target, and we will get our hand rip. And this completes the setup. So basically what we've done here is we've set up a Rinbrum to negate an extra deck monster and bounce, a Mirror Jade banish, a Quim to special summon back our Mirror Jade if we fusion summon with our Chimera Fusion. For instance, if we have During the start of their turn, we can go ahead and activate our Mirror Sword Knight, special summon our second Baphomet, add Chimera Fusion and Gazelle, and then we can use something like our Mirror Jade, our Baphomet that we summon, and the Gazelle from hand to Chimera Fusion a Guardian Chimera. That gives us 2 Destruction and a draw, and special back an illusion from grave, and search an illusion monster, so we can search the Emissary from the House of Wax, or a Master Tau, or some more follow-up for next turn. And Quim will trigger because we fusion summoned a card left the extra deck, so we can summon back our Mirror Jade, and that gives us a second Mirror Jade activation. And we've still got our Mirror Sword Knight and Cornfield Codal activations from the graveyard. And that's all off of a single branded fusion. You do have to discard 2 cards from your hand to do this, but the inboard is far stronger than just the basic Chimera lines. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. Be sure to leave a like down below if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let me know if there's anything that you think I missed in this deck list. It's certainly not finalized by any means. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I don't always make Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. A lot of my content is Magic focused. But if you would like to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! Content in the future, be sure to let me know down below. Thank you all, and have a great day.